Good morning and welcome back to a brand new video. If you're new here, then welcome. My name's Alex, I'm a cameraman and I take you behind the scenes of the jobs you get to do, whether that's in the UK or abroad, video, photo or drone, and I post 2 videos a week for you every Thursday and every Sunday to show you what I've been up to. Last week, you might have seen we put this awning on the van, but unfortunately I wasn't able to test it or extend it all the way out because I didn't have enough space. What I'm going to do this week is drive the van forward a little bit and try and do that first, just to double check that we didn't waste our time putting it up there. So, without further ado, let's crack on. Right, it's been a few days since we last started this, so fingers crossed it's going to start up first time. I've also noticed there's a bit of bird poo on it, so, you know, we need to protect this paintwork because it's in mint condition, so I need to give it a wash pretty soon as well. Stop waffling, get starting. Right, come on, baby. There we go. So, good news, it did start. I just need to let it warm up just for 30 seconds before I drive it away. I'm literally going to take it like 10 meters forward, so it's not too big of a deal, but yeah. I'm hoping there's going to be enough space there, but I guess there's only one way to find out. Without hitting the wall on my right-hand side as well. Obviously, don't forget, we don't have any power steering in this thing, so it can be a bit tricky to drive, especially when we're doing little maneuvers like this. So basically, I need to hug this wall to the right-hand side to try and get as close as possible without also scratching it with my wing mirror. And we'll go there. We'll see if that's good enough. I'm hoping that's going to be enough space. There is only one way to find out. Apologies for the shades, it's quite bright up there. And then, yeah, as I said, we've got these poles as well, but unfortunately, they're both broken. This little locking thing here doesn't lock anymore. So what I'm going to do is get the awning out, get it to the right height, and then just bang a couple of metal screws through it just to hold them at the right length. But first of all, let's see if we can extend this properly. There's a little screw that gets caught there every time. There we go. I'm hoping we've got enough space. It is quite a large awning. Just trying to give it a little hand there. Okay, it's getting dark. I'm going to stop there for a sec, just check on the top. Yeah, it's all looking good so far. Nearly there. Okay. I am preemptively worrying now about these legs. How do they go? Small change of plan. I've actually got these ladders out now to act as a bit of support for the awning rather than those poles, because they are very broken. If you missed last week's video, Mark tried to off me with these ladders, which was quite fun.
Whoa. Oh, careful, mate. I tied those in. Obviously not very well.
There we go. That's it, fully extended. So what I need to do now is give this a little rest so that it's not fully resting on the side of the van. And so I've got these legs and I need to basically permanently fix them to the perfect height. And I don't know what that perfect height actually is, to be honest. As high as we can. Okay, we'll go with that. I'm gonna get a tape measure, measure it, and then bang some screws in it. Here are the bits and bobs that we need. Sorry, you can't actually see me, can you? Bear with. These are the bits and bobs that we need. I have a drill. I have these special metal screws, which are pretty hefty, if you have a look at those. Hopefully you can see. Self-tapping ones, and I also have a tape measure to initially measure how long this pole is so that I can get the other one to match. It is 220, so, or 222 even, which is my lucky number. So here we go. Put it through this one first. Almost too easy, that. Let's do another one next to it here. See how easy that is? These metal screws are fantastic. They did cost me quite a lot of money. And I actually only needed them for one project in the van, which was fixing the top bed area above the cab. But now at least that is going absolutely nowhere. All I have to do is measure this one and make it match. So that's that side propped up, but the pole is actually upside down, not the end of the world. It's just because I wanted to get a vague idea of what it's going to look like. And same for this side. There we go. Move the ladder out of the way. And there we have our proper awning area. I am so pleased that this wasn't ruined. And again, really appreciate the help from Uncle Mark for helping me get it sorted. So yeah, I am absolutely chuffed that that works. I'm not going to have it out in heavy wind or anything like that. It is simply for perfect weather when we need that little bit more shade. And it's actually great because my editing setup's there and the lounge area is there. So when it is baking hot, it'll give us just that little bit more protection from the sun. So that's really, really good news. I've got a couple more jobs to do before we shoot off. Today's video is actually going to include a Q&A, so please enjoy that. And what I'm going to do is go underneath the van and just check that the water tank underneath is completely empty. So that's going to be a fun, messy job. First of all, get this packed away and yeah, pat myself on the back for it being good. Chuffed. And she's away. Perfect. Right then, we're back on the GoPro for a minute. Just gonna open this door, bear with. Here we go. These big long poles are now going to live in here, if I can get them in. And so they're not in the way when I do get to a campsite, I will simply take them out and put them underneath the van. But because they don't fold up anymore and I can't be asked getting any new ones, they used to live closed up inside there, but they're too long now, so they're going to live in the back, which isn't a problem. Just before I do address the things underneath the van, I'm going to move it back to there. So, here we go. When I say this wing mirror is close, let me show you how blooming close it is. Look. Perfect. Just enough space to get down the side, nice smoky exhaust, and so this is the next thing that I needed to address. In the summertime, I thought I'd emptied this out. This is the water tank. This is the drinking water tank, I believe. There is a grey water tank under here somewhere, but I'm not actually quite sure where that is. All I know is that this is the water one. So what I'm going to do is get a bucket, if I can, and a wrench and just undo it. You can see that it is slightly undone already and already dripping, so I don't think there's going to be much in there, but we shall see. The less time I spend under this van looking at what it's like, the better. Then, using my trusty oil collection tray, because, as I said earlier, this van does like to drip a little bit of oil on the floor. That's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Am I going to get drenched? Is the question. No, not going to get drenched. Looks good. So, whilst that freshwater tank drains, I'm actually going to go, I think, underneath the back of the van here, because I think that's where the wastewater one is. Or at least I know that this is the tap for the wastewater, the grey water. So if I go underneath and follow that, oh, there it is. Oh, it's right there. Whilst that water tank empties, and unfortunately, I don't have a tool to get that thing open, the grey water tank, nor do I have anywhere that I can empty that grim water out to. What I'm going to do is take you for a little Q&A. So thank you to everybody who submitted a Q&A question. Yeah, Alex from the future, take it away. Right then, it's Q&A time, and this Q&A has been sponsored by F4 who have sponsored me, or should I say Georgie, with this F28 Pro e-bike. It's fresh out the box, freshly charged, and we've got about 7 miles to get done on it. We've got a beautiful reservoir, actually just over that way, and we're going to take it all the way around. I have 10 questions to answer, some really, really juicy ones. What's happened in France? Why aren't I going back? Am I going back? What's going on? Who knows? Let's just get on the road, test this e-bike out. Georgie, are you excited?
I am excited.
What do you think so far?
I think it's really cool.
It is really, really cool. Lovely colour, nice and green. Can you even see it? Hopefully you can. Anyway, let's go. We've made it as far as the track. Oh, let this guy go past. Right, mate, sorry. And as you can see, Georgie's looking good on the F28 Pro. We have some alpacas just down here on the right-hand side, and then we're getting to the reservoir. And as soon as we see the water, I'll answer my first question. So, Georgie, lead the way. We have a bench here, and it looks like that's going to be a good spot for us to answer the first question. So let's pull up. Okay, as I said, this Q&A is sponsored by F4 if I can get it around, and Georgie has the phone with 10 questions on. Thank you to everyone who did submit a question. I really appreciate it. And yeah, Georgie, do you want to pick one off the list? Any question at all?
Okay. So, how old is Layla? How did you get her, and how do you spell her name?
Okay, how old is Layla? So Layla is going to be 8 this month. No, 8 in May, so that's not too far away. She's 7 at the moment. And I actually got her off of a website. She, I think, was 4 years old, and I got her from Scotland, a place, a farm in Scotland. So she's rehomed, not technically rescued, but rehomed. I reckon she was used for puppies quite a lot, so yeah. And you spell her name is L-E-L-A. So yeah, the further we go, the juicier the questions are going to get. So let's get going. I did say there was alpacas, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but there are alpacas there. Hello. Okay, so Georgie the boss has said we need to stop here to answer the next question. Your bike's got a brake light on it. That's pretty cool. And it has a headlight as well. And it has a headlight as well. Nice. Right then, Georgie, question number 2. Make sure it's a juicy one, okay? The people need to know the answers.
Have you ever caught a UFO?
Have I ever caught a UFO? Right, so one thing you need to know about me, I'm a big alien fan. I do think there is life out there in the universe. I think it'd be daft to think that we were the only sentient beings in the universe. But no, I've never caught a UFO. But would I love to capture a UFO? Yes, I would. Similarly to when I was in France and we were ghost hunting quite a bit, I'd never fake it because I am that much of a fanatic. I think faking it is rubbish. If I ever do catch one, I'll be sure to show you guys. Next spot, let's go. Okay, this is the next spot. I do promise we've not just walked 10 metres as my helmet is on. Okay, right, Georgie, are you ready? Next question, please.
Okay, why don't I work on turtle at my house?
Why don't I work on turtle at my house? Right, so The reason I don't work on Tilta at my house is because the driveway is very steep. So if anything was to happen, like the handbrake to fail, which happens all the time in those old vans, it'll actually fly into a neighbour's house, which isn't ideal. And fun fact, out on the road, just outside the house, there was a water tanker parked there once, and its handbrake failed, and it went all the way down the road and smashed into a garage. This little lad's got the right idea. He's on a little electric bike as well. And I must admit, we are absolutely loving this F28 Pro so far. It is about half the price of my other e-bike, which is really surprising, seeing like how pretty it is and how well made it is and how well it goes. We've literally used no battery whatsoever so far, and we did only charge it for about half an hour out the box. So yeah, we're pretty impressed so far. Georgie, are you enjoying it?
Very much so. It's really cool.
Have you been on an e-bike before?
I haven't, no.
So this is your very first experience?
It is, and it's great.
And it's great.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's continue. It's a bit slippery, just be careful, be careful, be careful, be careful. Well, hey! Right, next spot, next question.
How do you get clients?
How do I get clients? So, I've been doing this for like 10 years, and the best way that I've got clients is just through networking and going to different events and meeting different people, giving them business cards, chatting to them, and get yourself out there. You never know who you're going to meet, even charity stuff. You never know who you might meet. So next spot, next question. We've actually come out the wind a little bit here to try and make the audio a little bit better. Apologies if the audio has been bad for the last questions. At least you'll be able to hear them from now on. Right, here we go. Georgie, question please.
Do you climb regularly?
Do I climb regularly? I wish I could say yes, I do climb regularly, but at the moment I have no time whatsoever. Most of my time gets taken up with these YouTube videos and client work. I wish I had time to climb. The only exercise I really do is walking Layla or forgetting things and having to run in and out of the house. That's the majority of the exercise I get to do. Seeing as we're halfway through the list of questions, I'm going to run through a couple of the best bits about this bike so far. So, first of all, unlike many bikes, this actually has a removable battery. The power of that battery, I believe, is 14.5 amp hours, so a fairly sizable battery, and as I said, we've barely touched the surface of it yet. So yeah, that comes off. It's got a lock on it, and obviously it is totally waterproof. There's the lock, sorry. Also, it is a step-through frame, meaning that you're not going to get your legs stuck here when you're trying to get on it all elegantly like me. Wowzers, look at that, how easy that is. Also, this LCD screen is super bright and super clear. We've got all of these different modes and a bell. Believe it or not, this is a wildlife show. So we're going to stop off here. I do believe that these geese actually end up in down jackets quite often. So we're going to go down here and see if they're friendly or not. They're there. And I'm sure every good adventurer has a story to tell where they've been attacked by a geese or a goose. My cousin Oliver got bitten on the nose by one, or a swan. I can't remember quite what it was. You got a question? Nope, they didn't have a question. So what I'll do, I'll see if Georgie's got a question instead. Okay, quickly firing up the questions before this group of people come to make it really awkward. Go for it, Georgie.
If the van doesn't start, what's your plan?
Right, so yeah, this was a great comment actually, or question. So if the van doesn't start, there's going to be two reasons why it wouldn't. One of them is bad fueling, so that's either because I've had the choke out too much and it's flooded the engine, that's why it hasn't started. If that happens, then I will wait for 20 minutes, half an hour, wait for that fuel to evaporate, for the spark plugs to dry out, and then try again. If it doesn't start because the battery's dead, these two problems are quite obvious. It won't even turn over if the battery's dead. Then what I will do is use my jump starter that I got sponsored a few videos back to get it started. So there's the two questions. Yeah. Also, if it doesn't start and I can't get it started with the jump starter, nor with waiting for it to dry out, then I'll just call the RAC. Easy peasy. Let's get going. Right, ready for a question? We've stopped off at the marina. I actually used to kayak here years and years and years ago. And it always seems to be blooming winter when we're kayaking, or freezing cold. Or that might just be because it's England. We're not sure. So, phone out. So just before the next question, what I'm gonna do is just show you this. Not this bike, this bike. This has actually got a 250 watt brushless motor at the front here, which is super useful. It's got 27.5-inch wheels, which make it a much smoother ride, and we're really pleased about that. Super low profile. Also, we have this little luggage holder, so when you go to the shop, or if you go hunting, you can put your animal underneath here and take it home, or your newspaper, whatever you prefer. Maybe not a bottle of wine though. So sorry about that, Georgie. Anyway, next thing is we have these big shock absorbers at the front, which do a fantastic job in terms of keeping it a little bit smoother. This is basically a commuter bike that you'd take to and from work more than you would be taking it off-road. But yeah, a little fantastic piece of kit so far. As I said, next question, sorry about that.
Have you always had the gift of waffle?
Have I always had the gift of waffle? Not always had the gift of the waffle, but I think it is something that I have developed over time by being put in front of a camera, and obviously being over in France with the P3, that's a bit like YouTube school. So I learned how to be a little bit more fluid in front of the camera. So yeah, not always had it, but it is a skill that you can definitely learn if you were interested in waffling more. Right then, we've got 3 questions remaining. We've just parked the bikes there. We're still at the reservoir, and this is like a special bird place, the reservoir is. And this is a bird hide. So we're going in here. I don't think anyone's in here. Oh, no, there's not. Perfect. Right then. So, little fun fact is, it's not that fun, but the first video on my channel, that's called Welcome, or A Fresh Start, I can't remember what it's called, but that was filmed around this reservoir at different points. That was the fun fact. Anyway, what we're going to do is, we've got 3 questions left. Georgie, pick a good question for me, please.
So when you leave the van in the lakes, do you have to pay?
Okay, so short answer is yes, I do have to pay. But if you're smart about it, some of the car parks offer like 7-day parking permits or 5-day parking permits, stuff like that. But luckily, I knew somebody near to the car park where I left my van who was able to go down and get an early bird ticket for me every day. So if you got a ticket between 6 PM and 9 AM, then it only costs you £1. If I was to buy one of the 7-day passes, probably going to cost me about 60 quid, 70 quid. So yeah, not ideal, but what is ideal is having somebody nearby. I would recommend doing this where if you do have a motorhome and you want to drive it somewhere and, you know, go and stay in it on weekends and stuff, what I did was drive it up to the lakes, get the train home, and then use my car to commute up and down. And obviously I'm using less fuel, burning it in the van, my car is more fuel efficient, and I'm using less wear and tear on the van as well. It is old, and to source parts for it, if it did go bang, might be a little bit difficult. So self-preservation wise, it makes sense to leave it parked up and use it as and when. So we've only got 2 questions remaining. The sky's looking slightly grey, so we better get a move on. We're just about to leave the reservoir, which is just over there behind us, and we've actually got a pretty monstrous hill over here to climb. So it's going to be a pretty good test for this here bike to see if it makes it up the hill successfully or not. With this payload as well, we never know. So Georgie, lead the way. We're going right through that gate and then up the hill. Is it going to make it?
I hope so.
Are you going to make it?
Absolutely.
Go for it, go on. There's Georgie, and there's the hill. Go on, let's see you get up the hill. this bike has 5 levels of pedal assist, which means depending on how much oomph you want from the bike, depends on how much it will give you. 1 being the least, 5 being the most, and if you want to get up a hill like that, I suggest lobbing it in 5. But as you can see, absolutely no effort whatsoever to get up the hill. Is that right?
Yes.
There we go. This way, Georgie, see you later. So we made it to the top of the hill, and Georgie's not out of breath, are you, Georgie?
No.
Please take the camera for me. I'm going to put my stand down just for a sec. We've got one more question to go before the juicy one, so I'll read it out quick. See my face phone. 1 bucket list location. Damn, this is something that I wish I'd thought about before, but where is it that I would love to go? I mean, at the moment, I can't think of an exact location of where I would like to visit, but in the future, there's 2 places where I'd like to retire. One of them being rural France, because I did absolutely adore it out there. The way of life and the pace of things, especially not in the big cities, in rural France, is, yeah, fantastic. If not there, then probably somewhere up in the lakes, because that is, to me, in England, that is the place that I want to be. So, yeah. And in terms of places to film, I guess any foreign country, because when you get the opportunity to go and make a film, especially a vlog for somebody, if you're following them around, it's a really good opportunity to get to see all the different parts of the city and really absorb the culture. So, yeah, there's those questions. We're going to get home and I'm going to answer the juiciest question of them all when we get there. So, let's go. See ya. So, we've made it back home. As you can see, the bike's in a cracking job. We've actually put 15k on it now, which is not bad going, and it's only dropped 1 bar. That means it's time for the final question. Georgie, take it away.
Why did you leave the Petherick's and will you go back?
Why did I leave the Petherick's and will I go back? So, I may go back one day, I don't know yet. Obviously, Billy's been great to me, really appreciate all of his help and all of the work that I did in France. The reason I've not gone back is I get 90 days in every 180 days, and it was almost impossible for me to get a visa in any kind of timely manner. I had a lady trying to help me out, but she was useless with it. So, I'm more than happy back here in England. I've got loads of stuff to be getting on with and doing, and obviously Billy is the same in France. We may cross paths again in the future, but I don't know yet. Anyway, that being said, I just want to thank Fafries for sponsoring today's video with this F28 Pro. I'm actually blown away with it. So thank you guys for watching, and thank you Fafries. Georgie is going to absolutely love that bike, and yeah, what a great gift, so thank you again. If you guys are interested in getting one for yourself, then make sure you visit the link down in the description where you get 8% off. It's not an expensive bike either, and it is absolutely fantastic quality and looks great and is super safe, so really appreciate them for sponsoring. If you've enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up button for me, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And in the next one, we're going to be getting this more and more adventure ready for a few weeks' time. We're able to take it out back to the lakes again. So that's what I'm looking forward to, and I hope you guys are too. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.